All right, so Qigong. There's so many, it's such a beautiful, beautiful, potent practice. And like any kind of mindfulness-based practice, it can be done anywhere, right? It doesn't need to be on a mat, right? It's the moment that you notice your mind. And so the birds are chirping. I can feel them move through my body. Qi is energy, and there's universal energy, right? There's energy all around us. There's energy within us. Our organs have energy, right? Heart energy is different than liver energy, in the same way that bone consciousness is different than muscle consciousness, than eye consciousness. In the same way, your consciousness is different than Chloe's, right? It's all energy. And the way that I kind of see this is akin to, if you look at the parallel between like Taoism and Buddhism, like rainbow body in Buddhism, right? All energetic frequencies. Thoughts are energetic frequencies. Fluctuations, right? They are the fluctuations of the mind. And that's like in yoga nirodha chitta vritti, right? Yoga quiets the fluctuations of the mind, right? And the Qigong practice, so Gong is cultivating, we're consciously cultivating. And it's through a set of movements. And there's many different lineages, in the same way that there's many different Buddhist lineages and there's many different schools of yoga, right? But the one theme amongst them all is conscious connection. Okay. And this morning I'm always laying in bed before sharing practice. And I'm like, what am I going to practice today? And a lot of it is based upon what I feel in my own body. Do I need to upregulate, my nervous system, which would mean like more of a yang practice? Or do I need to downregulate my nervous system, which is more of a yin practice? Or maybe it's more of a balancing practice, right? Today I was definitely feeling I need some balancing practice, because it's both a little up and down, as I think a lot of people around the planet right now are experiencing, And then so, because I've been practicing and studying, I can reach into my toolkit, my little toolbox, right? And be like, all right, this is the practice. And it's my intention to be able to offer that to you guys, so that wherever you are, you can go into conscious movement. And that can even just be walking, right? Like there's walking meditation. The other day I was rollerblading through the park. There's a beautiful park here, Prospect Park, as Chloe knows, yeah. And as I was rollerblading, I was gathering energy, wind energy, sun energy. And then I was streaming it behind me as though I were a bodhisattva. And anyone that moved into that energy also became a bodhisattva, right? My mind created that. Beautiful practice, right? A lot better than like, I'm a dumbass. I hate everything. We all know that practice. That's such a fun practice.
I'm really good at that practice.
Yes. It's like when I share loving kindness with people, I realized years ago that that I am my own most difficult person. Right. So the thing about Qigong is that it utilizes our connection to the elements and to what is. So in that way, it's very closely related to like a Bon Buddhism, one of the oldest shamanic forms of Buddhism, right? Cool. It's one of my favorites, in Dzogchen. So, like for instance, the three treasures, right? In Buddhism, there's the three jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And then in Qigong, the three treasures are the earth, literally the earth, but the energy that is moving up through the earth, the molten core of this planet is putting out a gravitational energy, magnetic energy too. It's one of the most powerful forces, right?
Yeah.
It's basically keeping us alive too. So there's the earth, the human, our hearts have energy that spreads out about 12 feet around us. And that energy is called the torus.
Okay.
It is the same energy of the earth. It's the same energy of a black hole. And we're always feeling it, right? I taught a self-defense seminar this weekend with my brothers, co-taught. And I was talking about how we're always feeling that energy.
Oh yeah.
Right? But some of us aren't in touch with that energy, but we feel it, right? We're always moving and gravitating either to or away from each other, right? Like we're our own celestial bodies moving around on the planet. And when you really start getting in touch with this stuff, it's like, right? You see. And then the last of the three treasures is the sun and the moon and the stars. Literally, where we are drawing energy into our bodies from. The plants would not be alive. If the sun was not putting out enough of its own energy to protect us from harmful waves from the universe coming in, right? The heliosphere, we'd be dead.
Yeah.
It's just facts, you know. And I especially love sharing this with teenagers because it's like, here's a little bit of astrophysics for you in the form of Qigong.
Awesome.
So it's fun. It's fun stuff.
I'm
So
excited.
that's what we're going to connect to today. I have to let my cat in. I am her own personal doorman. So, gee. So, and then a typical class begins with a seated meditation, which we're going to do, and then a discharge practice, right? And I'll since we're just right here, I'll talk about the discharge practice. The discharge practice is something that we all do kind of naturally anyway, right? Like in a heated situation, we may sigh, right? We're self-regulating. We may kind of shake our bodies a little bit. We may sway, right? We rock. It's like when two dogs come upon each other on the street and they have dog words, and then and then they shake it off, right? It's a discharge. It's a resetting the nervous system. So with the discharge practice, we reset the nervous system. We disorganize those habituated patterns, cycles of suffering, and we reorganize through form. Okay. And we'll do some movement practice. I think today for some balance. Yeah. All right. So she wants to go out again. My cat's one of my greatest teachers. So we're going to start off, just like in yoga, in our seated mountain. And there we go. In a seated mountain posture, a meditation posture, the hips ideally are higher than the knees, right? So that the legs don't fall asleep. And this can be done in a chair too, your seated chair mountain. And we're going to start, what we'll do is kind of align the body, the architecture of the body, right? The gross anatomy of the body so that the subtle body can flow. to broadening the collarbones, lifting up the sternum. Noticing if you have a tendency to keep the shoulders up, or maybe even one shoulder, right? A lot of people, if they carry a bag always on one side, they tend to do that. So just kind of drop into your body. Notice if the right and left eardrum are equidistant from the right and left shoulder, right? Sometimes there's a head tilt. The pelvic floor is drawn up in yoga. That is Mula Bandha. In Qigong, it is the earthly doors. Okay, so you're drawing up on that. And then notice if you are kind of spilling out of your pelvis. So that the pelvis, the basin of us, ideally should be parallel to the floor. So notice if you're leaning forward or leaning back, maybe to the side. And if you're not quite sure, it's kind of interesting to like kind of orbit around and find that place where you've contained yourself. And then move upward. Find where the trachea branches down into the right and left lung. There's a little dome there. Line that up with the pelvic floor. And then migrate up even more into the roof of the mouth. And align those with the crown of the skull. The crown of the skull is the heavenly gate. And you can think of this as the cathedral of your body. And what we want is light to flow down through the crown of the skull, all the way down into the basin of us, or the well of us. And we're going to utilize a pure yan mudra. So thumb, pinky, and middle finger come together. We're going to place it just below the belly button, and that is the lower dantian. So dantian is the energy center, kind of like chakras. And we'll just sit here for a few moments. I'll lead a little bit of breath work, but you can imagine that light is flowing into you and your hands help to funnel it. As we inhale, hold it gently. And exhale. Inhaling the breath of the trees. And exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. And you might start to feel some heat building up in your hands. And you can think of this light spreading down into your body, through over your hip joints, the right and the left, into the muscles of your thighs and your thigh bones, over your kneecaps, under your kneecaps, into the right calf muscle and the left, into your shin bone as we inhale and exhale. And you can perhaps feel yourself a bit more firmly rooted and grounded with the earth. And light flowing into you from the sun. At the same time, you can draw energy from the earth into you through the roots of you. As we inhale and exhale. You can consider that you are being nourished from the heavens and the earth. And you can start to feel this nourishment move into your organs, your intestines, your liver, your lungs. As we inhale and exhale. Simply connecting. Any thoughts that you have, allow them to pass through you just like sounds. Perhaps notice them and watch them, but return again to the energy flowing into your body. With every breath. And then we'll take another inhale and release the palms. So kind of pull them away. As you exhale slowly, turn the palms up to feel the energy of the heavens falling into your hands. It's like catching starlight. And then turn the palms down to feel the energy of the earth rising up to meet them. And then slowly press your hands down. You can notice how you were moving molecules of air. And then bring the hands to the human. And then notice the difference between muscle and bone. Perhaps noticing the flow of movement in your body. And then I'm going to encourage you to bring your hand down to whatever's there, whether it's the floor, the yoga mat, the rug. And keep one hand on you, the human, and the other hand on the floor, and notice the difference between the two. Yeah, and then just inhale. And if you need to extend your legs, please do. Right. So the practice of noticing, knowing, is one that whenever I notice monkey mind, and I think everybody's monkey mind this year had triplets, screaming triplets, right? The moment you pause and notice what is, it breaks that circuit, right? And I love like going up to a tree and just noticing. You can feel all of the movement in it, you know. And then we do that again and again and again. Yeah. So let's move this thing that we have, our precious human rebirth. Does anybody have any questions about that? You know, and remember what we're doing is these are all habituated practices. So it's fascinating. The moment I sit and I start to organize my body, then my mind is like, oh, okay, we know what's about to happen, right? And then I can drop into calmness. And I can drop into focus. And then I can take my mind and move it around, exploring, noticing, and witnessing. In the same way that when you hear a chime or a bell, right? It's a Pavlov's response, basically. All right, so let's come and stand. And we'll do a discharge practice. And then I think what we'll do is probably Tai Chi ruler with the little 3 treasures. I'm going to move all of this stuff. In Qigong land, the standing practice is done without a mat, unless you want to have one underneath you. But I like feeling this thing, yeah.
Battery 5.
I'm gonna play a little bit of music. And I will post this album because it's so lovely to listen to practice to. Garth Stevenson. Let me tilt this up a little bit. There we go. So we're going to start off in our mountain, okay? Again, just kind of noticing if you're leaning forward. I think a lot of us have that tendency now with Zoom, always kind of leaning forward. So find the crown of the skull, roof of the mouth, lining it up, moving down, trachea, pelvic floor. Okay, and then find the arches of the feet. Sorry about that. Lifting up the lower ribs, smoothing down the lower back, getting the ribs up off the hips. The hands can be in the Taiji mudra, so at the thumb webbing, they come together right below the belly button. As we inhale and exhale, feel the amount of space between the crown of your skull and the ceiling. Notice what you hear from your right eardrum and your left. And then bring your awareness to the shape of the arch of the right foot and then the left. Notice that they are most likely different. And what I'm going to ask you to do is consider what happens when you combine them. And again, the energy moving up through the planet. Into you, out through the crown of the skull, into the heavens, and back down again. That is the spiritual needle. Connect. As we inhale and exhale. Maybe even notice that with every inhalation, you're changing the volume of air in the room. Maybe notice that with every thought, word, and deed, it spreads outward. You can release the mudra. Notice the quality of air on your right hand, right? Begin to read the air and your left. Step out to the right. Inhale, reach the hands up into the sky. Exhale, reach even further. Reach the right fingers and the left, like you can taste the sky with your fingertips, because you can. And we'll do that again. Inhale, reach the right and the left, and reach up so much that maybe the heels start to lift up off the ground. The human connecting the earth and the heavens. Inhaling, exhaling, and then turn the palms up. Slight bend in the elbow, the arms are shoulder height. Begin to bend down, but the upper body's still up. Maybe the heels are still up. Inhale, jump up, exhale, and release. And just start to, we call this the shake, the discharge practice. And the sound that I'm using that to move energy through my body. Noticing where it's stuck. And for me, it's definitely stuck in my lungs. Shaking the hands out, the wrists, puttering the lips. And you can take the fingertips and begin to just gently tap crown of the skull, finding the crown of the skull, that delicate spot. Tap on it, activate it, open. Running your hands through your hair. This is one of my favorite parts. Giving a gentle tug. All right, sometimes I like to reach back, take my hands at the base of my skull, at the occiput, and just kind of lift up. Right, noticing space in the neck, opening. And you can take the two fingers, pointer and middle finger, take them beside the nose, right where the sinus cavities are, and inhale. Yep. Maybe even noticing the difference between right and left. There's very much a difference happening in my body over here. Right, helping to clear and balance. You can even take the thumbs, run them into the upper portion of your eye sockets, releasing the eye muscles. And then heels of the hand, press them into the eyes, let your head come forward, right? Being supported by your hands, and rotate the eyes clockwise and counterclockwise 9 times. And as you do that, you may notice fluid moving down into the nasal passages. And then you can take the heels of the hands, press them into the ears, and pull away. Do that 9 times. And then again, maybe noticing fluid moving into the eustachian tubes. Run your hands down your neck. Maybe give a gentle pull to the earlobes. Right? Babies do this all the time when they're teething. And then we're going to cup. Oh, God. Cupping the chest. Noticing left lung. This is, if you have any chest congestion, you're definitely going to feel it. Like I am. Helps to break it up. Right, what we're doing too is mapping our bodies with our hands. The top of the left arm. And then the inside. The right arm. Up the legs and the feet. Don't forget the back of the legs. Look at that. And then here, we're going to heat our hearts. Releasing the wrists. And then throwing down, right? It's like trying to get water off your hands. Or maybe throwing down what no longer serves you, what you no longer need. Habituated patterns. And then I like doing, you guys, Mary, you know this, I like doing this one. So the tongue is known as the needle of the heart, right? And they're very much connected. So we're going to release the tongue, which helps to release the heart. It's like one of my favorite parts because I just feel so silly. It's awesome. Right? Mirth is the antidote. Joy is the antidote to all of the fuckery in the world. So, and we're going to do shoulders. Right? And if you can, you can close your eyes and connect. Go slower. To the spiraling energy moving up through the earth, 1 foot and out your hand. Right? Everything is spirals. The same shape of your DNA is the same shape that our solar system makes. Is it spirals through the galaxy? And we'll do one hip. That one is tight. Other hip, not so tight. See if you can, when we're doing this, go slowly, slowly, drop your awareness into the head of the femur. Notice the shape of it. Notice where it gets a little sticky. Right there. And I know why, because my iliacus is tight. And then do the other one. Okay. And then for the next minute, we're just going to freestyle, right? Your body's your body. Like, notice, unstuck yourself. So in longer classes, sometimes we do a 20-minute shake. It's amazing. So begin to just, oh, now I'm getting hot. Slow it down a little bit. Go to like 25%. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just stop. As Master Wu says, look within. Notice. And then inhale. Step the right foot back to the left. Draw the arms around. Fingertips face each other. The palms face the earth, smoothing down the meridians of the subtle body. Hands come back into the Taiji Mudra. So what I want you guys to consider doing is do that again with me, but do it with your eyes closed, okay? Inhale. Drawing the arms around, fingertips facing each other, palms facing the earth, slowly, slowly smoothing down, reading, noticing. Hands come back, Taiji Mudra at the lower dantian. And then release, right? So the benefit of doing these, of beginning to do these practices is doing them with your eyes closed, because you will see so much more, okay? So I want to do 3 treasures with you guys, and then we're going to do Taiji ruler. So step out to your horse stance. Your horse stance can be really deep, depending upon what you got going on today. It can be more shallow, right? When I was sick with COVID both times, it was pretty shallow. I did not have a lot of energy. In fact, most of my practice was seated. So I'm gonna be like right around here. Hands are here in the ready position. That looks great, Sheila. And the elbows, just let them hang down, okay? Earthly doors closed, heavenly gates open. Inhale. When you get right about here, roll the shoulders back, turn the palms to the sun. Exhale. Okay, the greatest superpower is photosynthesis. Draw light and energy into your palms. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs, press out. And press, 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 so you get some space between your sternum and your collar and your ribs, and your spine. And then inhale. Extend your fingers long, wrap your hands around the planet. Say your bodhisattva vows if you have them. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Okay, and if your hamstrings are tight, put a slight bend in the knees, but for 1 minute, just let your head hang, wag it yes, wag it no. And then from here, inhale, roll up, drawing earth energy into your body, nourishing your organs. Roll the shoulders back, turn the palms to the sun. Exhale. Inhale, pressing out. And exhaling. That looks great. Nice, Nancy. Press, 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 press. Inhale. Exhale, straighten, extend your fingers, touch the sides of the room with the consciousness in your fingertips and go beyond. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Okay, last one. Slight bend in the knees. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale. Harness. Inhale. Exhale, pressing out. Inhale. Exhale, expand. Inhale. Exhale, hands come back to the ready. Step back. Right, in between each movement, we kind of close it out. Tai Chi Mudra. Yeah. So we're going to do Tai Chi ruler, and I'm going to show you what it looks like from the front and the side. We're going to do it together, and we're going to do it again and again and again. So Tai Chi ruler from the side. I'm in my mountain. I turn one foot out. I step the other foot forward. And I'll guide us through it all, but essentially it looks like this. Okay? So let's do it all together. Come back into your mountain. Inhale. Exhale. Spiritual needle. Earthly doors are closed, heavenly gates open. Release the mudra. Breathe the air. Step the left foot out at a 45-degree angle and the right foot forward. And you know that moment when you walk into a body of water, like a lake or the ocean or even a pool, and you're just feeling the surface of the water. That's what we're doing now, right? Feel. And then put the weight on the front foot. Inhale. Gather all of the depleted chi and energy thoughts out of your body. Exhale, put it forward. Inhaling. So I'm shifting my weight to the back foot, and then exhale to the front. Inhale. Exhale. And sometimes I like doing this with a little mantra, may I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be safe. May I be at ease. Inhaling. And exhaling. She's like, You're practicing. You won't care if I rip up your yoga mat right now. Inhale. Okay, and notice like your hands have been mapping your body. They're mapping your subtle body. Notice if there's a difference between right and left, and there probably is. Exhale. Slowly, slowly. Yeah, keep going. Inhale. Exhale. So inhale, exhale, come to the front foot again, pause. And we're going to go the other way. And you can think about gathering all of the universal chi that's all around you and pouring it into your body. Right? You can think of nourishing yourself with energy, but also perhaps drawing into yourself all of the wisdom and compassion of all of the Buddhas. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale. That's it. Beautiful, Mary. Exhale. Inhaling. Anything that you need that will help you be of better benefit to other humans, it's all around you. Draw it into you. So do one more. Inhaling. Exhale. Step the right foot back to the left. Pause and notice in your mountain. Notice your feet, crown of the skull, right and left eardrum. Find your heart. And then inhale. Exhale, release. Step the right foot out at a 45-degree angle and the left foot forward. And again, just read. Notice. And then bring your weight to the front foot, to your left foot. Inhale. Gather depleted energy and chi. Notice as you draw it out of you, right? Organs, kidneys, spleen. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. Right, and it's not just any kind of toxins in the body, but also toxins in the mind. Draw them out. Put them forward into the earth. Inhaling. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Pause on that front foot. Nice, Chloe. So you can make the movement really big, right? Chloe's making it really big and expansive, or you can make it small, right? So the weight's on the front foot, inhale, and now gather and pour into you all of the wisdom and the compassion of the highest beings. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. And again, I'm going to encourage you, because I don't know if you guys can tell, my eyes are closed often, right? So just for the next few moments, consider closing your eyes, reading the elements, space, time with your body. Connecting with your breath. Inhaling. Exhaling. Nourishing, replenishing, connecting. I have the body of a Buddha, speech of a Buddha, and the mind of a Buddha. And do one more. Right? Weight on the front foot. We want to end with replenishing. Inhale. Exhale. Step the left foot back to the right. One more time. Draw the arms around. Fingertips facing each other, palms face the earth, coming down through the center line.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I don't know why Siri decides to talk sometimes. So be in your mountain. Look within. Observe. Notice. And then release. Right? So I encourage you wherever you are, and I do this often, I'm just trailing my hands along, just noticing, feeling, right? If I pass a tree or a plant, I mean, I can feel the heat of this plant because it's alive, right? Feeling space in between things. So wherever you are, you can always be gathering. And it's fun too. So just before we end, just for a minute, pick the right hand over the left and just find your little chi ball. You know, and eventually you start to see that there's very little space in between you and space. Yeah. So, well, let's come and sit just for a minute to close it out. And you know, the interesting thing for me about when we're practicing is there's no judgment. You're just noticing, 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 noticing. There's no bad or good, right? There's just pattern and color and tone and, right? What a beautiful place to be. So again, you guys can do this anywhere at any time, right? When you notice monkey mind, just pause and, I mean, I'm doing this a lot, standing around and just kind of like noticing. Yeah. So next week we'll play with our chi ball more. I mean, you can bounce this stuff. It's pretty cool. Seriously, it's like you can start to move things around and you can like go like to my wall I have in my room is one of the walls is stone. And I just kind of trace over it without touching it and I can feel the crenellations, right? So Sheila, it was so lovely to have you.
Thank you so much. That was so amazing. It was so cool.
I'm really glad you enjoyed it. It's that's how I felt when I first started practicing. I was like, whoa.
It's awesome.
That's great. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So we'll end with the traditional this is the earth. This is the heavens. This is the human. We bow to each other and to the earth and the heavens that support us as we support each other. So be well, everybody. You're welcome, Mary. Such a pleasure to see you. And you, Chloe, and you, Nancy.
Thank
I'll see
you,
you guys
everyone.
next
Thank you
week.
so much.